Hey guys, welcome to Schopfield Music. I'm Napoleon. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to apply a Waterslide decal to your guitar.
Cheers.
One more time.
I've got this telly here. John has modified it to be a little bit more like Keith Richards' Telecaster, which he calls Micawber. You can check out a video of him doing that here. Anyways, to finish the look, I like to get rid of the Square Affinity logo and put my own custom logo on there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This is not something I would recommend that you ever do to a guitar that you plan to resell, but if it's in your own personal collection and it's what you want to do to your guitar, go for it. So the first thing to do is just get the strings off of there. Then we're going to sand the headstock down. And I plan on reusing these strings, don't plan on having them off that long, so I'll probably just tape them together with a little painter's tape and get them out of the way. Alright, and now you just take some sandpaper, probably pretty fine grit, eventually you're going to want that pretty smooth, and you're going to sand the headstock down. Now if you want to be careful, you can take all these off, all your knobs off and everything, to really get in there and do a nice sanding. Which, you know what? I will. Okay, the headstock is completely cleared of all hardware, so we're going to go ahead and sand this down now. A little bit more coarse sandpaper first. We'll use that to start off. Should be able to get this off a little quicker. There we go. Now we have to decide which one we like. Alright, I found the one I like. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out now. Now all you're going to need for this is a bowl of hot water. The lid of soap in it. First we're going to dry fit this where we think we'd like it. I don't like that one. I'm going to use a new one. That's because it's my guitar. I can pretty much pick and choose which pieces I want to use. So, this is the Fender logo I want. I'm going to put that right there, I think. The Telecaster that I want, I'll put right underneath, right about there. So dry fitting it, this is where I think I like them. Now we will apply them. To apply, simply put your water decal in the hot soapy water for about 30 seconds. It will curl up at first, then it should straighten out. Probably want to dab a little bit of water on your headstock. ever so gently. Try to carefully get that off. And once you do, you can use the backing paper. Try to straighten it out a little bit, get any bubbles out of it. Just dab a little bit of water on it, just to make sure it's good, around the edges at least. There, well, we're going to let that soak and dry. And then eventually we can put some clear coats on. I'm going to put a little Telecaster logo on. There we are. Now we'll just let that sit and dry, probably overnight, and tomorrow we'll start putting some clear coat over it. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so we got the headstock stickers on there. Now we're just going to put a thin coat of clear coat over that, front and back. Let that dry, do it again, let that dry, do it again. So 3 coats. I'll probably do a little light sanding and then do 3 coats again. And do that for as long as we need to. Just gonna put a second coat on here real quick, let that dry again for about an hour. There we go. All right, we'll come back in about an hour and see how that looks. Okay, I'm gonna put the third coat on now. Then we'll let that dry and start sanding. Okay, well now I'm in just a little room we have here in the house, and I got the headstock. It's been drying, and we're gonna go ahead and try to give it a quick sand, see how it turns out. Now you don't want to sand a whole lot because we've got very thin coats on there. Just enough, and then we'll do another coat. That's probably pretty good, but all I need now is to spray a few more thin coats on this one as well. And the next time after the 3 coats of thin coat have been applied, I'll go even higher grit, finer grit, and really smooth this out. Okay, well, we've finished the second round of clear coating. So we've done 3 more clear coats to the front and back of the headstock here, and we're ready to do a fine sand, and we'll probably call it good. If it needed more, we'd just go ahead and repeat the process. But this is what we have. Here's the back. Here's the back of the headstock. And here's the front of the headstock. Now, when doing the clear coating on the headstock, I noticed that the original Waterslide decal that I put on didn't really sit well. You can check it out. Here, I'll show you a little clip. It looks like the sticker didn't exactly sit on there as well as I was hoping it would. A little bit of, I don't know if you call that smears. I kind of touched it with my finger. But yeah, I didn't like it, so just resand it, start over. Which is what I did. And as you remember, we had plenty of options, so this is the one we went with. This is now ready to be fine sanded. To do that, we're going to be using these micro mesh pieces of sandpaper. It's not really sandpaper. I got these from stumac.com, great place. These are a whole bunch of different strips of varying grits of a type of sandpaper. Now the grit on the back here is not the same as regular sandpaper, so even though, say this first one says 1500 grit, that might not be like a regular sandpaper's 1500 grit, so you'd want to be careful with these. But these are made to be used either wet or dry. Using them wet, it actually gives it a finer sand pattern on your whatever you're using. So I'm just getting them all wet here in my Tupperware of hot water. Just like when using the Waterslide decals, you just get some hot water with a little bit of dish soap in it. And you can actually use these multiple times. My particular set here are probably coming close to an end. I've had these for a while. But yeah, you can reuse them multiple times. And you have 9 different grits of sandpaper that you use, starting with the smallest number, working your way up to the highest number. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to start with the 1500 grit. And when you actually sand with this, when it's wet, actually it takes the moisture out of the paper here. And you don't have to do a whole lot. And then I'm going to flip it over. And do the back side. Just like that. Moving on now, we're at the 1800 grit. And now remember, we've got clear coats on here, 6 total coats of it, but they're all very thin. If you go too long or too hard, you will eventually get back down to the Waterslide decal and start sanding that right off. And I'm just drying it off after each piece of paper with a paper towel, just in case there's any micro wood shavings or whatever. And we'll just continue on the process, going through all 9 of the sheets. Okay, well, we've sanded it down, and it is what it is at this point. But you can still kind of make out the outline of the sticker a little bit, especially on the back here, it looks like. I don't know. Was it worth it? It was fun to do. So now we'll go ahead and put all the hardware back on the headstock and string this back up. just tighten them all up. Okay, now we're going to restring this. Now, we saved the strings that we used before, but they're all bendy. But they're all coiled at the end. So that'll be tricky, but we'll get it. Okay. Now, this particular guitar I like to tune into an open G tuning. It's my Keith Richards Micawber, and that's where he kept his at. Now to do that, it would be an open G, which means when you strum the strings open, it plays a G chord. A G chord is a triad consisting of the notes G, B, and D. So that's what we're going to make all of these. So the first string here, the bass string, usually is an E. We'll drop that down to a D. Next string is usually an A, but we're going to tune that up to a B, because it should be G, B's, and D's. So, okay, the next string would typically be a D, and that works, so we'll keep it as a D. Third string from the bottom, fourth string from the top is a G. Obviously that works. Then the B string stays a B string. And then that final E, the high E, well, we're going to tune that down to a D as well. And there you go. That allows us to get the cool Rolling Stones riffs. Okay, so we finished the headstock, and this guitar is all ready to rock and roll again. If we've got any pictures of this guitar before with the square headstock and stuff, well, let's compare them. Alright, well I hope you've enjoyed this Tuesday Gearday video of how to apply Waterslide decals to your headstocks. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and as always be sure to like, subscribe, and bell it, yo. Alright guys, next time. Cheers. Thanks for checking out Schopfield Music here on YouTube.
We really appreciate your, oh man, messed it up. I was trying to think of the word I wanted to use, because I was trying to be professional.
What word would that be?
Not in my nose, that's for sure.
Do you feel like I'm sitting kind of close to you?
I feel a little too close.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It is weird. But we have to, you know, we're tight on camera space here, so things
That
are...
way the videos show up over here and they don't block us.
That's right. We don't want to be blocked.
Yeah.
I don't like being blocked. I don't mind being copyrighted. I just don't want to be blocked.
I hear that.